ladies and gentlemen, we all are back. We have had a brief hiatus last week as I had family in town. Georgia. Wow. Okay. We are watching college football as well.
Is
As this is
Texas
going
back?
on. We were
We're
talking, is
all
Miami
back.
back? Is Miami back? Luckily for Texas, Carson Beck sucks. And so does Georgia's offense. So I don't know. Texas put in yours, then they put in Manning, then they took out Manning and put back in yours. And that's not exactly what you want if you're the number one team in the country, to have a quarterback controversy right in the middle of your biggest game of your program's history.
I don't know if there's a controversy. Ewers you can't spell Ewers without you.
You.
He just is lazy with the ball. Just throw it.
Well, it's all about he's got arm angles and he's off platform. I don't know if you've heard that before. That's a touchdown.
That's hot in the street. Did you see the interception?
I did.
Like 2 seconds ago, right before we started. So let the record show you canceled last week. It had nothing to do with Ohio State getting robbed in Eugene. Just want to clarify. Previous show I had them ranked number 1. I think they should still be number 1. I think they changed the rule book because they got robbed. That being said, the interception that led to trash going on in the field, that led to the refs changing their mind 20 minutes later. Just saying, last week was called OPI. Now it's interception. Just saying. Can we go back and reverse last week's call?
I think do you have to be a team that is currently on the path to being back to get favorable calls? Miami,
home cooking.
Miami, question if they're back or not. Texas, question if they're back or not. Both are getting very favorable calls. But people are saying, not us, just let the record show. Also, yes, that was on me that we canceled. So, okay, that is neither here nor there. And we have an NFL Week 7 to get to. Did I put in I might have put in picks last week. I'm not really sure. But
I gave you 5. 1 didn't qualify. The other 4 went 3-1. So
the
NSA can confirm these texts exist.
That's true. They are
brother.
Documented.
Yes.
So if that's the case, I have to check our record. We are then 13-11. So now
record.
What we have to do
makes the playoffs in the NFC South.
That's true. In the not the NFC North, but the NFC South, yes. NFC West maybe too, because those teams suck.
Oh, I wasn't going to throw stones at the glass house here.
Well,
out of respect to your 49ers.
I'm
a
realist.
Later in the show.
You're about to figure out what they're all about come next week or this weekend. So, okay. Regardless, neither here nor there. Week 7 picks. JBonez is here. We're on the quest to 5-0 every week. It is a new week. And we're not like NFL teams. We have to go 1-0. We have to go 1-0 5 times in a row. So some say that might be harder than what NFL teams have to do because we're playing multiple games. So any thoughts on that?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the board. You all know it. You love it. You've seen it. Number 1, right out of the gate, 1 p.m. Now we have to disclose this information. Your Philadelphia Eagles.
Sidebar before we talk about the Eagles.
Okay.
I know it doesn't qualify for the contest, but there is some London action at 9:30.
That's true.
Same team, Jags, different stadium. They go from Tottenham to Wembley. I already have the Jags minus 5.5 in a parlay from Thursday night. So
which
if it was a contest, I'd probably lean into it. Doug Peterson, I would have said last week if we had a show that it's, did he take play calling back? Here's where it gets weird with Dougie P. I think Press Taylor's going to get him fired for a second time because the offense stinks. I thought he took back play calling 2 weeks ago when they won, but then last week they stunk again. They pounded rock with Tank Bigsby 2 weeks ago. They didn't last week. He split carries with Dearness Johnson. They were running it when it was obvious 2-run. They were passing when it was obvious to. They played right into the Bears' hand. I don't know. Dougie P looked like he may have been crying on the sideline because he knows he has to fire his boy Press Taylor and send him back home flying coach. So,
brother of Zach Taylor. People forget.
That whole tree for a hot minute was a disaster because there was Zach Taylor winless, Press Taylor winless, and the Titans, Brian Callahan's like his brother-in-law or something.
Yes.
So it is Drake May game 2. The Jags are dead last against the deep ball, so shout out to my North Carolina brethren-in-laws. Drake May had 2 touchdowns last week, 40 and 35 yards. So if there's a chance to throw a deep ball, he's going to. However, international favorites 29-16 against the spread, 3-0 this year. Jags cover. Hopefully, just stave off of firing. Doug Peter's been fired twice and won a Super Bowl since the last time Mike Tomlin has won a playoff game.
Speaking of which,
look at that.
Oh, we got one of our guys here, Josh. Fourth quarter performance. Go check him out. Supplements, workouts, motivation. Guy's awesome.
Great news. He can't lose this week.
That's true. He said, "Give it all you got, sucker. Give it all you got. Everything you got."
Did you know the Cowboys? They're on a bye, so it's always a good time to talk about the Cowboys.
Dak got engaged. It's over.
Oh, that's good. Is that like dad energy when you have that kid?
No, it's reverse. It is reverse.
I don't know
get married.
Where. That's the worst tie or most points they've ever, or worst loss I think ever under the Jerry Jones era. On his birthday, no less. They had a 1-15 year, and last week was worse than any game in that 1-15 season.
So I love watching the Cowboys get slapped around. There's rumors. I saw somebody throwing out there into the ether that Alvin Kamara to the Cowboys.
That would make sense. Jerry doesn't have the money. I gave Brandon Cooks $12 million, so I can't pay the likes of Derrick Henry to pound the rock for me. Tomorrow looked like he was telling Sean Payton, "Save me."
Yes, he was whispering in his ear. He's like, "Good game," but you can't. I mean, Javonte Williams, come on now, 2 touchdowns for the first time, running wild.
Yeah, but they need like another guy. They tried to give it to Estime, and he's fumbling too. So Sean Payton, he wants some options. 2-back system. Kamara can catch out of the backfield, pound rock, little lightning feather. Enough of that. You want to talk Eagles? Let's talk Eagles.
Okay, but yes, I like the Jags. I love the Jags there. So, Eagles at the Giants. Eagles minus 3.5 on the road. The Giants without one of their offensive tackles, Thomas. And it looks like Tyrone Tracy show will be continuing, even though Devin Singletary is back. You're going to Tyrone the damn ball all day long for the Giants. Danny Dimes, Brian Daboll. Are they starting to become Ricky Bobby and his dad when him and the car are melding together? Right? Everybody remembers that scene. So
Daniel Jones did find the end zone last week. Finally, it's the first time in MetLife Stadium since 2022, week 17. So all right.
You don't want to mess with those odds. You don't want to mess with those.
I looked at every angle on this thing, angry, because I remember being upset on Christmas because I took the Eagles minus 13.5 in MetLife. So if I took them at 13.5, I should take them at 3 and be happy with it. But I forgot that they actually won the game. They just did not cover because of silliness. But the Eagles still haven't scored a point in the first quarter all year. The only team not to do that. I don't know if that means they're due or they're just inept. They went and hired Kellen Moore, but they're still running this like Sirianni offense. The players say they're with him, but he's like yelling at fans who tell him to run the ball. The angle here, it's the Saquon Barkley revenge game. We saw it on Hard Knocks, how upset Mara was losing Saquon to the Eagles. Saquon, touchdown, plus Eagles money line pays plus 124. You don't have to worry about the hooks. You don't have to worry about anything else. Little opportunity there. You want to add 2 touchdowns by itself is plus 370. With the money line, you're getting over plus 400. There is opportunity maybe to do an Eagles money line parlay with a Giants plus 3.5. This is one of those Johnny Public's all over the Eagles. We have a divisional home dog. Perfect recipe for the Giants to at least cover. But Eagles money line Giants plus 3.5 plus 459. You're in that kind of thing. There is a script. Neighbors is back, right? Daniel Jones has become a grown-up Simba with Mufasa up in the clouds the last couple of weeks. Jalen Hurts is pressured 45% of the time. They just lost Mailata, put him on the IL, so that's his left tackle.
That's not good.
This pressure's high. 2.9 seconds for him to get the ball out. So the pressure's coming. He doesn't care. He's holding on to the ball. Even though Devontae was out, AJ was out, whatever, still amongst the highest. Giants number 9 pressure rate. They get to the quarterback, number 1 in sack rate. And when Jalen is not pressured, all his numbers are double. Completion rate, EPA, equilibrium per attempt. He gets pressure, cut in half. He's like 28th in the league. Burrow, Geno Smith, Jaden, they all get the ball out quick, and the Giants still got pressure on them. So Jalen tends to hold the ball, and it could be a situation where it doesn't look great, and they just kind of pull a rabbit out of their hat at the end and steal a victory. But it's almost a must-win for the Eagles, and Sirianni and Doug Peterson are going to go head-to-head for the next month or so of who's going to get fired.
Yes, the Giants have some dudes up front. They have got some dudes. They get a lot of. They can get they can put it on you with 4, and that's again
Dangerous.
If the Eagles. And if the Eagles are down their tackle, that's not good. It's not good.
But Saquon revenge game. It's a shame Boston Scott's not around. We used to take Boston Scott 2 touchdowns against the Giants, and that would cash, I think, pretty regularly.
That's true. Look, here we go. Cowboys aren't a contender. They should be in sell mode.
Sell what?
Sell their quarterback.
Yeah,
they need to be selling. They need to be selling those old fundraiser candy bars that taste like chalk.
Sell the cheerleaders to the Steelers. Maybe that's what they need to turn around.
Exactly. Sirianni head shave is a disaster.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing.
And he agrees with all that.
Every time I say Sirianni, Siri yells at me. So that alone. Garrett Wilson looking more and more. That. I think I said that 2 weeks ago. It was the perfect trade. The Jets are in a situation now where like all in on the Super Bowl, but they've pissed off the old wide receiver 1. He's kind of getting close to the end of that rookie deal. They got to sign on the 5th-year option. All obvious decisions for a normal team. The Jets could make a savvy move and trade Garrett Wilson to the Steelers, reunite him with Justin Fields, who should be the quarterback. They get a first-round pick for that. Now you can sell to the owner, sell to Woody, sell to Mr. Johnson & Johnson himself. Like, yeah, we went and got Devontae, but we also got a 1 next year. And you know the Steelers are going to go 8-8. That's a nice little mid-round pick.
Never had a losing season. Never had a losing season.
What we need in order for that to happen is the Jets to lose again before the trade deadline, so Aaron Rodgers can throw Garrett Wilson under the bus. Mike Williams was last week. Garrett Wilson maybe Sunday.
Aaron Rodgers has an entire Greyhound shuttle bus factory that he's just throwing people under.
The key is the big tires. They get right over the body.
That dude is throwing everybody. I love the best scenario that I've ever heard or conspiracy theory is that Johnson owns Johnson & Johnson and Aaron Rodgers is doing all this to stick it to him once and for all.
That was a joke at that Catholic church event where Jim Gaffigan was telling jokes the other night. He said something to the effect of if Mr. Johnson & Johnson can get along with Aaron Rodgers, everyone else should be able to put their differences aside.
That's pretty good. Quinn Ewers is
stinky.
Ooh! That should be a flag too. They're gonna throw the flag. Oh, here you go. He says Parsons, Diggs, and Bland. Okay.
Bland? You know what Bland is? He's bland.
Boom. Okay,
Bring Parsons to the Eagles. I think he kind of wants to be an Eagle.
Parsons.
I don't know what number he would wear. That does create a controversy because AJ is number 11.
That's true. Maybe it could be number 1. What number is Jalen Hurts? 1?
Number 1.
Damn.
I know. Trade Jalen Hurts for Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is 2.
Yeah. So we got him at 2. Slay. Okay, we'll trade Slay somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just redo this whole defense here. We'll get Micah Parsons will be in. We'll bring in Justin Fields, have some picks, spend some otherware. Who says no? Who says no? What's next?
Bring Boston Scott back.
I think he's on the Steelers practice squad.
Oh, gosh,
they got a Giants game. I think they play in 2 weeks after the bye. They're just saving him. They're keeping him running around the UPMC practice facility. Just stay healthy. We got the Giants in 2 weeks.
He's like Michael Bublé or Mariah Carey whenever Christmas comes around. It's like, when do you play the Giants? We're trading for Boston Scott. He's thawing as we speak. Okay. So what did you? What do we decide there? Giants or
I don't think this is worthy of a top 5 selection.
no?
I
I
think
agree.
for our not gambling advice of the week is a Saquon touchdown and the Eagles money line.
Okay,
Get a
I like
Saquon
it.
touchdown out of the way in the first 10 minutes. They finally score in the first quarter. And then you just hold on to your butts for 3
Hold on.
hours.
Yes.
But it'll be on red zone. It'll be in the top corner, octo box. It'll be good.
Yes. Okay, this is one of the games of the week. Detroit at Minnesota. What's the revenge angle here? Detroit plus 1.5, Minnesota minus 1.5. Aaron Jones hanging in the balance. We don't know if he's going to play or not. He makes that offense go because when he went out in the second half last week, the Minnesota Vikings looked very pedestrian on the back of Sam Darnold. A Sam Darnold game is coming. Now, Detroit has lost Aiden Hutchinson. That's a shame. That was gross. We don't want to talk about it. It was terrible. But, man, do they have a lot of playmakers on offense. That's the matchup. Blitzing Brian Flores versus go for it on fourth down, Dan Campbell. Thoughts?
I got a lot here. Vikings are coming
Okay.
off a bye. So far this year, teams with a 3-day rest advantage are 6-2 against the spread. So I think it'll become a bigger factor you get later in the year, more bumps, bruises, etc. This is the first time these two teams are facing each other. 4 or more wins over 500 since, I'm not going to tell you, can you guess the quarterback matchup the last time these two teams were 4 games over 500?
Dante Culpepper and Sean Hill.
Half right.
Who was it?
I'll tell you at the end. Drop the
Okay, go ahead.
comments who the two quarterbacks are.
Oh, I love that.
So,
Say it again.
all right, last time they faced each other and both teams are 4 games or more over 500, who was the quarterback matchup? Lions, Vikings. They played last year, the very end of the year, week 16, week 18. Vikings threw in the towel by then. They had the Cousins injury. They floated in some other guys. They were dead. The defense was dead. That being said, Brian Flores did the only thing he could do, just set the house. Blitz, 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 blitz. We kind of seen a little bit of that evolve into this year's defense with a lot of blitzes. We've heard multiple quarterbacks come out of that game against the Vikings. Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud. To quote Sam Darnold, they were seeing ghosts. It's aggressive. The Vikings have only trailed for 3 minutes and 26 seconds all season. That's the 5th fewest through this stretch of the games since 1970, and the top 6 in that category all went to the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
Game of the year last week was the Lions-Cowboys. They obviously had that 2-point conversion go wrong last year. I would have said on the podcast to take a lineman to score a touchdown, and they almost got one. Didn't happen, but they got their revenge against the Cowboys. A bit of a letdown spot. Now, the Aiden injury gets a little bit dicey because it's almost like a do-it-for-Aiden situation. The Lions blitzed a lot last year, but they were more efficient when they didn't blitz. When you got a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, you can send 4 and get the kind of pressure that a blitz may bring other teams. But this year, Aiden Hutchinson played a lot of backup tackles, right? Lions pressure rate, not very high. I think it's 30th in the league. Maybe he's not that important to this defense, and they can just organically create the pressure they need to, sit back and let it play. I do have a prop I like in this one.
Okay.
Jameson Williams, longest reception over 21.5 yards. So last year, the Vikings blitzed Goff on 73% of the dropbacks. Obviously, there was the injuries, whatever. It was the highest rate of the game. This year, they continued to show the blitz 41% of the time, especially on first down. Behind that blitz, they play zone 71%, which is identical to the looks they were giving Goff last year. And when the Lions are blitzed against the zone blitz, Jameson Williams gets the target 32% of the time, has 253 yards already this year against that blitz. I used to always take Jameson Williams touchdown, Jameson Williams over yards. They usually come on one play. You want a little action in this game? That could be the fun one there. The Lions' last 5 games they played bottom 5 or bottom 10 rush defenses. Arizona, the Rams, Cowboys, the Seahawks. Now they're facing a good run defense. It's going to be hard to get the ball moving. They're going to blitz. I think that Justin Jefferson could see some yards. I think the over is a safe play. The Lions allowed CeeDee Lamb to hit 89, and the rest of the offense was garbage. The Lions obviously have a little bit more nuance to their offense. That being said, 80% of the bettors are backing the Lions. I don't like that.
No.
I think with the bye, the Lions coming off the emotional win, perfect storm of sorts. This will probably be the first of 3 times they play, quite frankly. They're definitely playing twice. Why not face off in the playoffs? If a team could get a healthy lead, it probably could be a take your foot off the gas or leave foot on, but the team losing just, we'll eat the loss. We can
Cruise
take
control.
it. We'll come back and get
Cruise
revenge
control game.
later.
Cruise control.
Yeah.
Get it to
So
speed.
I think I like it enough for my top 5, but
I would
I
agree.
think the Vikings at home get it done.
I like that. I'm gonna lock that one in. I like the Vikings. I'm on the same page there.
We need a sound effect for locks.
Oh yes, maybe I have one. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, we do need. Hold on.
I'm gonna lock that in.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking right now. No, I don't see any on the board here. We're gonna have to wait a minute. No, not that one. Not that one. Nope.
That's not a lock.
No, that's not.
Put it in front of a lie.
Nope.
How's this work? You just let it pull sounds wherever you want, or do they give you like?
Well, we can put whatever we want to in there.
Challenge accepted.
Like for the sound of a lock.
I need an audio recording of something we can. Oh, here you go. Look.
Stafford versus Case Keenum. Good guess. Neither one is correct. So far we have, who are the guys you said?
I said Culpepper and Sean Hill.
Yes, and you're half right. So one of those two is right, and none of those. You know it's Culpepper? Okay.
Yes. I'm confident. Well,
I guess we're at the end of that game. It's Culpepper. It's Steelers legend Charlie Batch. 2000.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Forgot about. I knew it was an obscure kind of. I remember Charlie Batch.
Steelers legend.
Akon. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I got to figure out some sort of sound effect for that. Okay.
Akon kosher.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Batch.
There you go, B. Batch. That's right. Resting Batch face.
Ooh. Oh, wait. I tried to segue into Browns Bengals. I got ahead of myself.
We can, but we don't want to skip.
Go in order.
We don't want to skip the Dolphins and the Colts.
This is why everyone's tuned in.
Colts minus 2.5 at home. Are they starting Flacco? Are they starting Richardson?
I think it's Richardson.
Oh my gosh.
I hope it's Richardson because that's all the only angle I have for this one is Richardson in, Taylor out. Yeah, he's starting. Richardson in, Taylor out. Vikings Dolphins had a week off. They gotta have something planned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something.
I don't know. It's Mike McDaniel. He's probably like, we don't care. Life is more important. Let's just talk about the cosmos. And I mean, literally, that offense is completely disgusting without Tua. Who would have thought? So,
yeah, go back and watch what I say. He's the only person in the world who can run a play action, pull it, throw it down the field like that. No one else can do it, and McDaniels can't figure out how to scheme it up for anyone else.
Nope.
He's been a bit stubborn. That comes from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. Being stubborn and thinking you're smarter than everyone else.
Imagine that. That's where you end up, dressing like you're Miami Vice and wearing joggers and all that stuff.
So if I had to pick Dolphins plus 3, why not? It's a football number. Oh, it's 1.5 or no, 2.5 now. See, they took the hook away. They know. Dolphins, whatever. What is life?
That's not in the top 5.
No.
But here's what.
Colts win 9-6.
Probably. If Anthony Richardson's playing, probably.
I like it. Well, the thing is, though, I don't think I've ever seen him finish a game. I don't think I've seen him throw a ball in the fourth quarter. He gets hurt. Flacco could come in and bring him back. If you see Flacco and you have a bet in there and you're on the Dolphins, cash that sucker out, put it on the Colts live.
Get him out. Yeah, I mean, you look, don't mess with Flacco, dude. Do not. He will like some of his numbers this year. He's like top in like passer rating, top in touchdown passes. Like he's only played like 2.5 or 3 games. You gotta love seeing that. It's like I love being like these guys are so generational. And 45-year-old Joe Flacco comes off and throws for like 302. So whatever. Anyways,
It's a flow
on to the
chart. Is
next.
Flacco playing? No. Dolphins? Yes. Colts.
Cover. Dolphins cover. Actually, insert NFL team here. Covers if Joe Flacco is not playing.
Colts may find a way to win by 2.5 and push this thing.
That's very true. Is the dome open? Is the dome open? Have we seen anything Irsay? Dude,
What's
if
next?
Texas runs another freaking screen or swing pass,
I know,
they're
and he
so they're so afraid to throw the football downfield. It's unbelievable.
I have a hot
Flacco
take.
is. Oh, let's hear it. With this, that's why we did. That's why you come on here.
I may have a stronger arm than Quinn Ewers.
Okay. I've seen videos. I would believe that. Okay. Houston.
Speaking of Kyle Shanahan.
Yes, indeed. This is the Kyle Shanahan
Bowl.
There we go. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan Bowl.
Matt LaFleur about flowing action.
Mm-hmm. D'Amico Ryans, also 49ers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The coordinator has a job that used to work with Kyle Shanahan.
Houston 2.5 on the road at Lambeau. This is the game where people love to talk about the quarterback matchup, but I would say, oh my gosh, I would say this is more. What are the Texans going to do against this defense? The guy who's the Boston College defensive coordinator for Green Bay. What are the Texans going to do without Nico Collins? And is Green Bay going to be able to run the football? I think it's going to be more based on the running game for each one of these teams who can get that established more assertively. Thoughts?
If we had a show last week, I would have told you how this was the first time the Texans were playing outdoors in New England Stadium. I would have said things like, CJ Stroud without Nico Collins isn't going to be able to score the ball. And then they scored, 50 points? I think that maybe that 50-point effort knocked this line down a little bit. I think without that 50-point effort, people were maybe thinking Packers 4, Packers -5. Whatever. It's created maybe some value for us today. Tomorrow will be the first Texans game played on grass all year. So I got a first all over the place. I like where Brandon's going. CJ Stroud splits on the road are less than favorable. Now he's without Nico Collins. And since they teamed up last year, they have 33 completions, 15 plus yards downfield, second only to the aforementioned Tua Tyreek combo. So he loves him, loves going deep. They become a less flashy offense, more of a methodical offense. Is Mixon healthy? I think the Bengals may regret not keeping Mixon around. I know he had a little questionable pass, but he could still run the ball. As far as the Packers go, Jeff Hafley's defense on paper you'd think is doing well. I did see a stat. They lead the league in turnovers. So that's the difference between this year and last year. But outside of that, not a whole lot. Take the plays that they come up with turnovers out. Their EPA on the other plays is just a middling defense, just like we saw last year. So who knows what they could be against a more elite offense as the grass slow them down. I don't know. The Packers do run a lot of man, which CJ does like. So I prefer zone against CJ to maybe get in his way. I did see 83% of the public is on the Texans. I was on the Texans. I was on the Packers. I was on the Texans. I think I agree with Brandon as 11-10 Saturday night. This is Packers reminding everyone that they're, an NFC favorite.
I agree. The Joe Mixon point Did Cincinnati not know how to use Joe Mixon? Because Joe Mixon suddenly didn't get a year older and suddenly get better. It's just, did they not know how to use him? And you see it all the time in Zach Taylor's offense. I mean, look at the two running backs now. They don't know how to. It looks like they have no idea how to play running back. So maybe they just didn't know how to use him. Joe Mixon thriving in this new offense.
And
I
they
just hate
traded Cam Akers this week to the Vikings, which is weird. Given
Dameon
Mixon
Pierce is
had,
back.
I guess, but Mixon's missing games.
Yeah, that was really weird.
You'd like to shore up the room if you're going to be, I don't know. It maybe says a lot more about the running backs they have. Yeah. The community seems to like, oh, it's 2.5 on here. Even better.
2.5. So we take the Packers, which I like. So potential Super Bowl matchup, some might say.
I think there's a running pattern of rematches from the Super Bowl to the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like something that's happened.
Okay. So there you go. I'm going to lock that one in for now. Speaking of bees, like you said earlier, here's the scenario I have. Bengals, Browns. Bengals at the Browns. Browns fans mad. They just traded Amari Cooper. Mad. They still have Deshaun Watson as their quarterback. 5.5-point home dogs. Bengals coming to town.
Home dog.
Divisional home dog. Let me throw this at you. Bengals get back into, right? Bengals get back into one game. Within one game of the, wow, they throw out a second Georgia player for targeting. Unbelievable. Bengals get back to within one game of the AFC North as the Steelers lose to the Jets and the Ravens lose to the Bucks. And here are the Bengals sitting there, 3-4, Ravens, Steelers, 4-3. What? That could happen. And here's old Joey B just sitting there, one game back. October.
I had the same thought. And then I went to the end of my driveway and I picked up my Cincinnati Times. I get newspapers from all 32 NFL cities delivered.
Chili.
So I opened the Cincinnati Times and was reminded of the fact that Joe Burrow is 1-5 against the Browns.
We did not consider that.
Not ideal. Nick Chubb is back. Is Texas back? I don't know. I do know Nick Chubb is back. Brandon Brendel. Nick Chubb is back.
Yep.
Here's a fun fact for you. I was on the Browns last week against the Eagles just because I don't trust the Eagles. However, this
you don't
year,
trust Sirianni.
True. I'm not saying the name because then my phone will light up, but I'm not saying the name. I don't trust him. This stupid buzz cut.
He should not be named.
Floby. Let his idiot kids do it the night before. Deshaun Watson, amongst all quarterbacks, has played the easiest schedule of past defenses.
What? And it sucked this bad?
Yep. Every single defense is ranked 21st or worse. The hardest was the same Raiders defense that gave people they love to believe that Andy Dalton found the fountain of youth. That Raiders defense gave Bo Nix hope. The future schedule coming up ain't great. You'll see the Broncos, Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers. They're going to have their way with the Browns. No pun intended. A lot of people were taking the Bengals. I think there's probably a path to the Bengals winning, but I do think, like I mentioned in the last game, that Vegas is starting to adjust some lines. They know they could just keep throwing points on the Browns and hope that people take them. I don't understand how they got to a 9.5-point dog against the Eagles last week. Vegas just kept throwing points on just to give more points. The Eagles fans will take it. Eagles fans will take it. They had a blocked field goal, score a touchdown. They come up with clever ways to score. It's hard to lose a game when you get a defensive touchdown. The Browns figured that out. I think the Bengals win. I think it's ugly. I think if you only can watch 4 games, this is probably one you're not watching, but you're going to see the score in the corner and go, Browns are keeping them honest. I'll be damned. 24-20. Something like that. Bengals win. Browns cover.
I agree.
And this comes from a guy who says the line doesn't matter. I see it mattering in that one right there.
I agree. Is this one that we pick? No. We don't have the guts. We don't have the guts to take the Browns, do we? Do we have the guts? Do you have the guts?
Only 13% of the betting public had the testicular fortitude to take the Browns. Could be us. We'll come
Could
back.
be us.
We'll see.
We'll
What's
come back.
next?
Titans, Bills.
I'd be remiss if we didn't call it the Music City Miracle.
Very true. Very true. And Mason Rudolph starting Will Levis, Mr. Mayo Man, Mr. Buttery Biscuit Mayo Man. Welcome to the bench, and let's blame it on your shoulder, shall we? Couldn't be that you've made 6 weeks or 6 weeks in a row of just nonstop internet gold, culminating to getting somebody's leg blown up last week on the sideline. Shout out Changang guy. Will Levis, we will miss you. Mason Rudolph, also a viral sensation. We all remember that. Myles Garrett. And Josh Allen has a new weapon in Amari Cooper. Buffalo Bills at home, starting to get a little cold. Can they cover 9.5? I don't know if I trust the Bills offense. Thoughts?
Let me walk you through my process because I did all these.
Okay.
I took all these bullets out, and then today my phone goes off, and Adam Schefter breaks the news at 5:16. And I go, son of a gun. So Will Levis, my note here says Will Levis in all caps stinks. He's 35th
Bingo.
in EPA per attempt of the 38 eligible quarterbacks with 35 attempts. Where is he grouped? He's grouped just ahead of Drake May, who rookie 1 game. Okay. Spencer Rattler, okay, rookie makes sense. Bryce Young, benched. He's behind Jacoby Brissett.
Bitch. Uh-oh. Lost his mic. What happened? Talk amongst yourselves. We lost his mic. We don't know what happened. He was talking, laying out the case. Will Levis sucks. I think we all know that. The thing is, James Cook is going to be playing here. We know that. James Cook on. Can the Bills replicate that running offense? The Titans, they're
We'll edit that in post.
There you go. Go ahead.
There we go.
Go ahead.
Benched. The weird thing about the Titans, we're still called the Titans, right?
Yes.
5th highest usage rate outside the numbers, even though they're the worst in the league at trying to throw the ball outside the numbers. They're terrible at it. They've got the 6th most expensive wide receiver core out there, which you would never believe if you look at these guys out there. They're drafting offensive linemen. They've got an offensive head coach. You'd think they're running the ball more. No, they're using the running backs as passing targets. Doesn't make any sense. League high 22% of the time they're throwing the ball to the running back. Terrible. That being said, underdogs of 6 or more. 15-2-1 against the spread. Everyone's running to throw the money on the Bills. Hey, I got Amari Cooper. Who the hell's Amari Cooper? When was the last time he did it? Is Amari Cooper on your fantasy team? If Cooper plays, he'll catch a TD. Perhaps.
Sewers. Throw such his name Sewers.
Yes, Sewers. I'm telling you guys, I could throw it just as good as him. Look here.
Dude, he's
literally on the magazine cover, sitting on my floor. Can't see it's blurred. I got a fun fact about the Titans roster. You know L'Jarius Sneed? Remember him?
Yes.
He was the number 10 ranked free agent going into the offseason. Got a nice fat deal with them. Did you know he is ranked dead last of the eligible cornerbacks on PFF?
Shout out Spagnola. Got the man paid.
Did you know Josh Allen is not throwing an interception this year yet?
Did you know Mike Tomlin never had a losing season?
L'Jarius Sneed's going to pick off
what are you about
Josh
to
Allen
say?
tomorrow.
You're right. Wait a minute. What are you about to say?
Yeah, L'Jarius Sneed intercepts Josh Allen. It'll show up on your game tracker.
Can you bet that? L'Jarius Sneed interception?
Maybe. Stat guy BMO on the call. See if you can bet that. What do the numbers look like? 89% of people on the Bills, they're running. They're seeing, oh, it's great. I don't know. The Bills this year are the kind of team that blows teams out and does that. Granted, they did on Monday Football against the Jaguars, who stink. Titans have a good defense. I think they at least keep it close, cover the number. This is a candidate for the who kills this teaser of the week. People trying to get that Bills number down maybe to 3.5, and then they only win by a field goal.
Which Tyler Bass.
Oh, yeah, they can't make that field goal. Doink. They brought in some competition for T-Bass. You know that?
They did. Get his mind right. Just a little
It ain't the
motivation.
holder. That's what I know. It ain't the holder.
Absolutely not. Never see balls held more perfectly.
Yeah, he may be the best ball holder in the league.
Without a doubt.
Next
The
year.
Titans defense first in total yards against per game, first passing yards against per game at 137, 10th against rushing yards. What they don't do is sack the quarterback and get turnovers. They only have one interception on the year
Till tomorrow. So they're
that's
due. They're due. He's due. This is just a due.
That's it. This is so weird to see how good their freaking defense is. Yet they don't create turnovers and they don't. I mean, let's see. They played the Bears, the Jets, the Packers, Miami.
Well, look,
And
if they're a team that does get or sacks and relies on that, Josh Allen's a perfect candidate to avoid that kind of stuff because of how, he could shuffle around, use his size, get around, gain some yards. So if they're playing more of a safe defense where contain the quarterback and play coverage, why not?
Agreed.
Why not the Titans? Are they wearing cool uniforms? Feels like a good opportunity to wear some cool uniforms. Let's go
If
to
I'm
the
the Titans,
uniform
you
tracker.
have to wear the uniforms that you wore when you did the Music City Miracle. So,
I support that.
are we going to put this one in or no? So far, we've got Minnesota, Green Bay. We're going all NFC North. Let's hold off. Okay, there you go. DK FanDuel interception prop bets for Snead.
No, they're on the road. They're just wearing white.
Oh, of course. Dodgeball, that thing. And the final 1 o'clock game, Seattle, Battle of the Birds. No such thing as a Seahawk. At Atlanta, Kirk O'Chain's out there talking that trash, saying you don't come to our trap, this and that. Coming off his 500. Well, no, that was, not last week. I think he sucked against the Panthers, wasn't it? Falcons favored by 3.5. I believe Kenneth Walker, I saw that he has an illness. He is now questionable. I think Seattle is down both of their starting corners. Seattle is missing all of their defensive line.
I think the defensive line's getting healthy.
Okay. All right. I'm just
corners.
I don't trust Geno Smith. I trust the Falcons more because they're going to rely on Tyler Algier, not Bijan Robinson for some reason, to cram this ball down their throats.
Kenneth Walker added to the injury report with an illness.
Mm-hmm. Holy smokes. Iowa State just scored. Incredible. They're up 38-35 on UCF.
God, there's not a lot I like to tell you about this. So the Seahawks looked good for a hot minute with new coach Mike McDonald. Back in the first couple weeks, they were 4.7 yards per attempt. That's doubled. Now they're allowing 10. It's just easy to move the ball against them. Scores per drive have doubled since those first 4 weeks. They got lucky playing some teams at the beginning of the year. It was Knicks and Brissett, whatever. Skylar Thompson, not great. The Goff, Purdy, Daniel Jones trio has seemingly had their way with the defense and pushed it all the way to close to dead last. The last 4 pass rushes Geno's faced have been the number 2 Giants, number 5 Dolphins, number 7 Niners, number 10 Lions in pure pressure. That's exactly the opposite of what the Falcons are. The Falcons are 29th in pressure. Seahawks are now missing Stone Forsythe. They're getting back a bunch of guys on the defense in the front 7, not necessarily the secondary. It seems like a grounded pound, maybe just ride Kenneth Walker opportunity. Kirk,
if he
though,
plays
at home favorite. They're resting guys. This is usually considering when they're just resting, not injury related. Rest. The whole injury report is just not like they didn't practice all week, the Falcons. So I think that the league rewards practicing. I think that hook has my attention. I think Seahawks may be able to cover 3.5.
You think so? It's hard
We'll
to
see
trust
about
the Falcons.
Kenneth. Low-key upset if Kenneth Walker plays. I agree.
He was Kenneth Walker's sick. There was an illness. I remember I saw something come through about him having an illness pop
So we're not
up.
taking it here. If Kenneth Walker plays though tomorrow, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Okay, agreed. I agree. It's like, the Seahawks stink. And it's like, yeah, but it's the Falcons who do Falcons things, and Kirk Cousins does Kirk Cousins things. Now, counterpoint, this is not a primetime game.
True. Neither was last week, though.
That's true.
Falcons
Let's see.
killed the Panthers.
Kirk Cousins primetime game. Non-primetime games, that's when you really get Kirk Cousins. But
Speaking of Kirk Cousins in prime time, hungover from the Walker birthday party.
Walker,
So
Texas
I just
Ranger.
made some notes here. This is a weird year. We had the primetime games. So what week are we in? 7?
7.
I count 9 just wacky finishes in these primetime games. We had the toe in the Ravens first week. The Lions got the ball first in overtime. We're right down the field, covered 4.5. The Texans fumble at the goal line, can't cover 6.5. The Eagles just collapse. Saquon drops it. Falcons go right down the field, score, win that. Brandon Aubrey doinks out of nowhere when it was an opportunity to cover the spread there.
Oh, gosh,
The Falcons won a coin flip, went right down the field to score on Thursday Night Football. The steel curtain looked like the steel that's made in China. Let the Cowboys go right down the field and score, steal that win. And we saw the Bengals last week could have just gone down and taken a knee and run the clock out. Instead, ran in the end zone, cover the 4.5. All this oddities. So Kirk Cousins in primetime fit right into this, but just some hocus pocus taking place with these games we'll get to later, but you can't trust these primetime ones. What's next?
The next game?
The next game.
It is. Brandon's going to like this one. Carolina Panthers plus 9.5 at the new, I don't know who's more the NFL's darling right now, if it's the Vikings or if it's the Commanders. But
it's the Vikings.
Commanders,
Vikings are like the real show on HBO, and the Commanders are the kitschy rom-com on Netflix. Jade Daniels is a rabbi, and
I was going to say, who would you
Cliff
rather
Kingsbury
have?
is a voice of Anna or Elsa. Meanwhile, the Vikings are the Penguin.
The Penguins?
Yeah, no, Penguin, singular on HBO.
Oh, I got you. I was like, what? They have Crosby, who sucks.
It's like the Batman Crosby, bad guy. It's like this generation's Sopranos.
Oh, yes.
So I have a note of this one. This is my spooky, spectacular game of the week.
Yes, let's hear it.
So first of all, we have the Panthers' number 1 receiver. Well, is he number 1? Deontay. Leave in the chat. Is Deontay a number 1? Because he's been dressing up like a number 1 lately. He is tied with CeeDee Lamb for 3rd in total targets. The Commanders just so happen to be the worst team in defending wide receiver 1. Maybe an opportunity. Deontay, I do like the over 67.5 yards there. On the other side of the ball, scary Terry McLaurin. Panthers allow the most yards per target to receivers. He's another over possibility. I have told you before, the line doesn't matter, and I will not be scared of this 9.5 points, and I will continue to ride the enigma that is Jaden Daniels, Commanders, in a laugher.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Good enough to make it to the list, top 5.
Panthers have a ton of players out. Laugher.
You think good enough to make it to the top 5?
Well, click it, and we'll see how many we have at the end, and then we'll trim the fat, and we'll decide if that one's thick.
This is also great because Brandon is a Commanders fan, so if they lose and don't cover, the next time we can blame all of this, every single bit of it, on him and how his team sucks.
Chris Carter said it, always have a fall guy.
That's right. So we will click this, lock it in, and if the Commanders lose or don't cover, I want you right back here, Brandon, next week, same time, and we will then berate you and call your team fraudulent and that they are just a sheep's dressed in, or a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, whatever.
There's something that they do with this league. Those 4 o'clock games, they have the one they want you to watch. They have the Tony Romo game. They have the Tom Brady game. This is the one everyone's going to watch. If you're still on Red Zone for whatever reason, they give you all the games in the beginning, and then the 4 o'clocks, it's just like some crap taking place out west. Both of these games, laughers, favorites roll. Spoiler alert, I'm on the Rams. It's Cooper Kupp's back, a little showcase game, potential trade target. Maybe he's the Steelers' savior. The Raiders have given up on Antonio Gibson. We are Max Crosby. He's going to be out any minute. The Raiders are in tank for TB12 at this point. New minority owner. He's going to come. He's going to clean house. He's going to get rid of Antonio Gibson, not a real head coach.
Pierce.
Interim energy paid off. 2 laughers here while everyone's watching the Super Bowl rematch.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I love the Rams on this too. Also, did you know Aiden O'Connell has never had a rush attempt?
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that same stat. Oh my God. I should have put that on here. That's a good one.
Unbelievable. Here goes. Oh, he caught it. You got to be kidding me. Quinn Ewers.
442 snaps he's played since entering NFL. The only quarterback to ever achieve that feat in the next gen era.
Here you go. He'll be here and he'll take it, but it won't happen. Yeah, right, dude. It'd be a real shame if that happened, Brandon. It'd be a real shame.
You hate to see it.
I would hate that for you.
But also, you love to see it.
Quinn Ewers could have thrown 16 picks this game. I've seen Georgia drop 3 just on this drive alone.
Would Ohio State take Quinn Ewers back?
I don't think it was a quarterback issue. Well, that guy running, that was hilarious. You have to admit. How mad were you whenever he
he's a weird bridge. They got that number 1 quarterback that transferred from Alabama, but they got a guy in high school. It's a local kid. He's got Terrell Pryor build, but he's good.
Good God, that's a name. Terrell Pryor was. They keep running this damn
Terrell Pryor build. Remember, he was like a Greek god out there. Go watch the Orange Bowl against Oregon. He's just enormous.
He made Cam Newton look pathetic.
Yeah,
it was
before spread offenses took off. Like if Urban Meyer and Terrell Pryor could have been there at the same time, my God.
That would have been unbelievable.
Give him that patented JT Barrett shotgun draw run up the middle. Bulldoze a bunch of 18-year-olds. It could be done.
He was a freak show. But that was hilarious when he ran and slid and pulled a Dak Prescott. That was so funny.
Hey, listen. We saw that interception earlier, people throwing trash on the field, was more egregious OPI than what they call on Jeremiah Smith. Additionally, the NCAA has already cleaned up its rule book while Dan Lanning is cheating on the sidelines and doing 12 men on the field to milk. Can't do that anymore. So all I know coming out of that game is there was a bogus PI call. They changed the rule book, and the quarterback will not be that dumb again, I hope. I don't know. That's what Steelers fans say about their head coach every week. But here's Tomlin starting reject quarterbacks. What's next?
Never had a losing season. Okay. Yes, Commanders. I'm putting both of those in there. I think both these games suck. I mean, if you're a fan of the Rams and the Commanders, good for you. Devontae Adams gone. Max Crosby not happy. Antonio Pierce has lost the locker room. Stafford, if he can get hurt during this game, then he'll play even better because that's what he likes to do. And he'll be motivated because Georgia beat Texas.
Or hungover.
True.
Kyle Shanahan's a Texas guy. Never mind. Different team. He's got matching tattoos with that other white wide receiver on his leg. You know that?
See, look at this guy. Look at him. He won't stop. They finally get a quarterback of some sorts. And now he's talking. Is he thinking Super Bowl? I mean, I'm sure Commanders fans are just beside themselves right now. Good for them.
The East is conceivably wide open.
Mm-hmm.
The team is kind of structured around the way to provide an infrastructure for this franchise quarterback. You know, they got the Bobby Wagners, the Zach Ertzes, just aged veterans that can kind of lead him into his career. So maybe not necessarily the window opening now, but, get good habits out of your quarterback while being exciting and winning some games. I don't know that they're a Max Crosby away from being a contender, but they could be good enough to get to the playoffs and start to build up that scarring that really is what builds a contender. So Max Crosby's probably more of a Lions fix.
Or a Niners fix. I've heard rumblings of that. Dude, okay. let's rule out the team that's been in the NFC Championship like 4 out of the last 5 years. Come on. Lions make it one time, and now everybody's like, "Oh, the Lions losing their best player are suddenly going to make a run to this." No.
Segue.
Oh, see, there he goes. See, there he goes. Oh my gosh. BMO doesn't have an SEC team. That's great. Just like everybody drew it up halfway through the year, Texas A&M and LSU leading the SEC.
I told all of you mid-major losers that called for a 16-team playoff that all you were doing was giving you were creating the resurgence equivalent for the SEC, where they could just die in the middle of October and come back to life and win a national championship as a 12 seed, blowing through all of your UNCs and your Virginia Techs and your Oregon States and just loser teams that get thrown into a playoff, getting just bodied by major teams with NIL and grown men on the team.
You look at me in the face and say, if Army and Navy aren't undefeated, you think Texas with Quinn Ewers and that shitbag arm are going to take Army and Navy? You got another thing coming, buddy.
That's an interesting dynamic because the playoff field is set the week before Army-Navy takes place.
That would be the greatest spectacle in sports of all college football, I swear to God.
Well, the Big Ten's interesting right now, right? Because of how it's slotted. Illinois with a big win against Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where if I want a Big Ten championship for Ohio State, I kind of need Oregon to knock off Illinois to knock them down a peg so that one loss Ohio State can find their way into it. But they play head-to-head. There's a head-to-head fix there, control your destiny. And I said to my brother, like, I didn't imagine that I'd be rooting for Oregon against Illinois at the end of October. And he goes, I think the 5 seed may be like the best seed because you get that home playoff game. You're going against a 12, and then you end up going to a 4 seed, which is going to be like who? The winner of the Big 12, just some
or Clemson or Miami.
Clemson, yeah. So like a win there, and then all of a sudden you're in the Final Four, and you really haven't played anyone. However, my counter to that is if that 12 seed is Navy, there's a stat out there when you play Navy, the next week you lose. It's the same thing. I have it saved for in a couple weeks here. The team that plays the Lions the next week has lost every week this year, and it's always like an embarrassing loss. You don't understand how it happened. The Seahawks losing to the Giants is an example of that. Now, because of bye weeks, we don't have that matchup immediately. The Cowboys obviously don't bye now. I don't know if that bye is affecting it, but the Lions play the Vikings. Who do the Vikings play next week? I think the Vikings win tomorrow, lose next week. Heard it here first.
Ooh, I like that. Clip it. Clip that, BMO. There was something about the Niners too there for a period of time. The week after people played the Niners for a couple of years, they would just
Probably when Harbaugh was there.
Bodied the next week because the Niners would just beat the hell out of people.
Oh
yeah,
my God. The Vikings play on Thursday Night Football against the Rams. The Rams is the pick on Thursday night.
Yes, I was like, that's it. Go ahead and take it right now. Can you take it right now? Do it. Everybody watching the show, do it right now.
Rams +3 money line. Oh
do
my
it.
God. Okay. Super
Texas
Bowl rematch.
loses.
Do you know anything about these teams?
Gosh, dude. If I have to see one more, okay, Kansas City, it was 1.5. Now it's at 2.5. San Francisco favored 2.5 at home against the Chiefs. If I have to hear one more freaking MVP, Mahomes, ignore the stats. He's the MVP, even though he's playing like straight dog water, straight poop milkshake, whatever you want to call it. Throwing picks every game, not the defense is winning the games for that team. Let's just stop it. He's good. I'm not going to say he's not good, but my gosh, let's call it what it is. Let's stop with the him and Lamar where we just have to, everybody says we live above the stats and you can't look at the stats yet. We're going to go take the stats over here against everybody else like Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to take the stats, tell everybody he sucks because of his stats. But when you look at the same stats and Mahomes and Lamar are right there above Aaron Rodgers in the same stats, we can't look at those. So just shut up.
If Pat Mahomes was started for the Steelers, he'd be the backup for the Steelers with those stats.
Right. I mean,
Justin
come on.
Fields is better than Pat Mahomes this year. I'm just saying.
But
impartial.
You can say that because of the stats. But who wants to look at those? Anyways.
Did you know that Andy Reid is 12-4 off a bye?
Yes, I did. I did know that.
Do you know Pat Mahomes 11-1-1 as an underdog? Just
And
keep
I'm
giving
sure
him more
like
points.
three of those are probably against the Niners.
I looked it up. Regular season rematches of the prior year Super Bowl 6-4 favor the champ. So we're gonna throw that out. Doesn't mean anything.
No.
The Niners have blown 2 second-half leads to the Chiefs. Is this a Steelers special where you take the Niners first half, Chiefs full game?
The Niners have blown
plus
two
700?
second half leads this year of 10 points or more. That was against
Which
the
is
Cardinals and the
weird.
Rams. That's against
So
Cardinals and the Rams.
Brock Purdy splits. He's got a 131 quarterback rating when he has the lead, but a 62 quarterback rating when he has a deficit. Yet they've blown all those leads with this Brock Purdy. I don't know. You said it though. Chiefs are a defensive team now. 17 points per game. They've only allowed 21 points once. The 8th lowest completion percentage allowed. They allowed a combined 103 yards. 103 yards to the trio of Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Bijan Robinson. The Niners try to pound rock. What are we down to the 3rd slot on the depth chart going in tomorrow?
Jordan Mason's
Eddie
back.
Guerrero.
I wish it was Eddie Guerrero. Latino Heat, baby. Are you kidding me?
The Chiefs are 2nd in blitz rate. Brock Purdy, 3 of his 4 interceptions have come when he's been blitzed. The under could be the play here if you're looking for action. The Chiefs are 7 for 18 scoring a touchdown in the red zone, which is 29th in the league, and the San Francisco 49ers aren't much better. 12 of 27 scoring a touchdown in the red zone, 25th in the league. Just weird offenses. Mahomes likes to throw it short. Fast guys
Field
like
goals.
to run. Purdy likes to throw it deep. Guys get immediately tackled. 80% of the world is on the Chiefs here, which kind of screams Niners at home and a bit of a revenge spot. Maybe this is the one they circled in the offseason. But they're down there, boy. I think that Kyle Shanahan's still putting Brandon Ayuk in the penalty box for that holdout.
Ricky Pearsall's playing, though.
Yeah, true.
Also, Pat Mahomes, most yak in the league. Brock Purdy, least amount of yak in the league.
If the Lord's going to give you Pat Mahomes in points, I think it'd be rude not to take them.
I'm not betting on the Chiefs. I will not bet on this game.
We know Taylor won't be there. She's in Miami.
Thank God. I'm not betting on this game. I can't.
The Chiefs stink at covering tight ends. This is George Kittle game. If you're looking for some props, feed George.
Very true. George Kittle, even Eric Saubert, backup tight end, maybe a little over his receptions, probably 0.5.
I don't know that we're going to come to a quorum here for this pick.
I'm not picking the Chiefs. I won't do it.
What's next?
I'm not doing it. Jets and Steelers. Jets, Devontae Adams. Steelers, quarterback controversy. Night game. Pretty much, this is a can't-lose game for the Jets. This is a must-win Russ game. So
you see who's going to be there waving a terrible towel?
No, who is it?
Antonio
Brown.
Yeah,
Donald Trump.
Donald
and
Trump
Le'Veon Bell.
Cronies, AB, Le'Veon Bell. People forget Donald Trump supporter RFK, potential running mates with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying. Maybe a little pregame meeting, discuss cabinet.
That's
Brandon's
what I'm
taking
talking
Niners.
about, Brandon. The Niners are going to be America's team tomorrow. Everybody, the Chiefs fans have become insufferable. They've become insufferable.
I just told you America's on the Chiefs.
But you can't. That's the gambling population. The casual fans need the Niners to win this game because we need the Chiefs to shut up just for a week. Shut them up.
So since 2022, here's a fun fact for you. I saw this on Colin Cowherd this week. They put up a blind resume, and they said this quarterback's got 5,000 yards since 2022. This quarterback's got 5,024. This quarterback's got 35 touchdowns. This quarterback's got 31. This one's got 73 big pass plays. The other one has 70. It's like, oh, man, they're so close. One was Aaron Rodgers. One was Jared Goff's stats strictly in the second half of football games.
That is such a dirty move. I love it.
The Patriots are the only defense the Jets have played that are not in the top 10. Here come the Steelers are ranked 13th. I think there's a ref angle here, and being a Pittsburgh resident, I can already hear the bitching going on Monday morning. All the Yinzers when they're calling out of work because the Steelers lost in primetime the night before.
Again.
Sean Smith calls 61% of penalties on the offense. The average is 52. 26% defense, well behind the average of 33. The reason I say this is because the Jets are second in the league in automatic first down penalties. Opposite of them, the Steelers' offense ranks third as the beneficiary of automatic first downs and first in roughing the passer. Just so happens the referee Sean Smith's crew has not called a roughing the passer this year. So we're going to see Russell Wilson get absolutely maimed tomorrow. And everyone go, where's the flag? Where's the flag? Where's the flag? Here it is. No, it's a terrible down. Oh, no. Jets bring the pressure. The Steelers allow the ninth most. Their center's out. They're putting an old man that sits in concrete back there. This could just be a sandbagging of all sandbaggings. I don't know why he was chosen to be the starter in this opportunity. There is a conspiracy theory. Go and Google Acrisure Russell Wilson. Back in 2021, they entered a partnership with Ciara Russell Wilson to supply insurance to minority communities and whatnot. I think Acrisure may have called up the Rooney's and said, like, hey, our name's on the building. You got to put Russ in for this game on TV.
Yes. And CR
He stinks. The Broncos are literally paying 20% of their salary cap to make him leave. He's a weirdo.
Unbelievable.
His teammates don't like him. Although might be 10 teams between the sacks. That's a good possibility. What's that bet look like? George Pickens was like putting extra work in with Russ this week. What's that about? Justin Fields, go play Madden and look at the receivers' ratings. And then consider that for George Pickens, you have to like take effort and make it a 0 because the guy's routes are about as sharp as a pair of scissors my kid uses in kindergarten. I want you to go back to week 1. Remember how just the league felt? Your last game, your last memory is a Super Bowl, and now you got week 1, like quarterbacks with over 200 yards. No one looks good. It's like, what's going on? Well, that's what Russell Wilson is tomorrow. He's a week 1 quarterback without a preseason, without building rapport in an offseason with the guys. He's just a weirdo back there that's married to a pop star. He's going to get killed. So are the Steelers. Hell yeah, Brandon.
Hey,
this is going to be a laugher. Take the Jets. Count your money at halftime.
Wow. Okay, so Jets and a laugher. We need a hold on. I think I have a laughing button.
The entertainer. We're coming right back.
Perfect.
Yes.
We may have a laugher parlay.
That's it.
Rams. What was the other one?
Rams, Commanders.
Rams, Commanders, Jets, laugher parlay.
There we go. I got the laugher button. I can put those on my soundboard. I'll put them. I'll get a lock. I'll just get somebody ordering a Cold Stone. I'll get a Cold Stone commercial and just have them ordering. I'll have the number 3 scoop Cold Stone Creamery marble slab lock of the week. You have a great night, Brandon. That was fun. Thanks for joining in.
There's 2 more games left, Brandon. Come back in the morning. DVR that, John.
Okay. Baltimore at Tampa. I'm taking Tampa. Baltimore. They suck.
Whoa. I heard the hate. You spewed the hate like from 2 towns over talking about a game with the 49ers. Lamar Jackson's 22-1 against the NFC, undefeated 5-0 against the NFC South, completes 65% of his passes, has 65 rush yards a game. He's become Pat Mahomes against the Blitz in 2024. He's lighting it up. You look at teams that have beaten Lamar the last couple of years is the Flores defense. The Steelers have had some fun with them. The Chiefs obviously won. They got there by blitzing, but now he's good against the blitz. Tampa, number 6 in blitz rate. They beat the, heir apparent to the Lamar throne in Washington earlier this year. We just saw Tampa smoke the Saints last week, and that was their displaced week because of the hurricane. The families all came with them, the New Orleans. But the Ravens own the NFC. Right now, they lead the league 453 yards per game in a true triple threat fashion. They got Lamar throwing, they got Lamar running, they got Derrick Henry pounding rock.
Dude, the Bucks have played some deep. They've beaten the Commanders, they've beaten the Lions, they beat the Eagles, and they beat the Saints. Yeah, they lost to the Broncos somehow, and they lost to the Falcons in that absolutely wild worm burner of a game.
I think there's a script there for the Bucks. If we look, Baker Mayfield grades out as the most sensitive to quarterback pressure. The Ravens are the second worst pressure rate on first and second down, but when it's third down, they come after you.
So he's got to get after it early.
No.
But he's one of the.
Well, that's the script right there. You have to stay out of third and throwing situations. If you could stay on schedule, you could make it work. These two quarterbacks I faced multiple times. Browns Ravens back in the day, 2020, 47-20, 47-42. Maybe another shootout here.
Over
opportunity. There may be some weather. Google the weather before it kicks off. I think it's windy down in Florida right now.
I want the Bucks to win this. The Bucks, the Ravens cannot. They're 31st against the pass. You cannot run the football against the Ravens. They're first in that. They cannot stop the pass. So this is a great. I mean, this falls right into Baker and the Bucks.
But hold on, let's think about this.
Okay.
When you get a lead, is the other team running the ball much?
No.
What are they doing?
Well, they're throwing it.
Yeah. Ask Josh Allen how does it throw on this defense.
Well, that was Joe Brady's fault for calling that stupid play. And they played Dallas, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Washington, Kansas. They played a pretty brutal schedule.
I think your prejudice against Lamar Jackson forgets how fast this guy is, and that's why he just dominates the NFC in general, because they think they can game plan for it. They think they have a backup quarterback who ran a little bit of option in college that can simulate the Lamar effect in practice. But then when you get out there, he's really freaking fast. And then when you think you have that figured out, then they just hand off to Derrick Henry, and he goes. If Derrick Henry scores 2 touchdowns, he'll tie Adrian Peterson second in consecutive 10-touchdown seasons. So you'll hear about that after that first touchdown he scores on the first drive. But Dane Thompson still has the record at 9. But something to monitor there. Derrick Henry's touchdown odds are really juiced at this point. So if you want anything related to Derrick Henry in the market, probably 2 touchdowns is a better option than 1. 2 is better than 1. I can't. I'd be foolish. I'd be Sean McDermott 1st and 10 from my own 5 with seconds left. And I'm going to throw 3 bombs level of stupid if I took anything but the Ravens against the NFC.
Okay. I trust you. Last game, Chargers at Cardinals. Double Monday night game. Jim Harbaugh and his arrhythmia games undefeated.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
Pulling Urban Meyer.
Yep. That's it. It's like the 3rd time it's happened to him.
Humble brag.
Yep. Shout out him. And the first thing he said was, "I'm undefeated in those games," which football guy through and through. And then you've got the Cardinals.
I should hate Jim Harbaugh, but I just can't.
You can't. He's too much of a football guy.
I just like him too much.
You can't. And yes, he's a Michigan man, but he has not shown his allegiance. He's been to the NFL twice, so he's a Michigan man when he's there.
Well,
but
he had to leave because they're cheaters.
Allegedly. Cardinals Chargers. What about this? I don't know what to do with this.
So I saw one that was ranking opposing defense efficiency. The Cardinals had a really easy schedule so far, and the Chargers defense happens to be really good. So there's a changing of the guard. The Cardinals are going to face some more difficult defenses, starting off with this Chargers defense. You said a football guy. I mean, what do I like? I like teams that ground and pound the rock, control the ball, score touchdowns. There's an opportunity to bet J.K. Dobbins' longest rush over 16.5 yards. He's coming off 3 consecutive games against top 10 run defenses. It's the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Broncos. 2 of those 3, he's been dealing with injured offensive line. He's been dealing with an injured quarterback, splitting carries with Gus Edwards. The linemen are back. Herbert's healthy. Gus Edwards is on IR, and now he's facing the stinking Cardinals. He's a volume guy. Feed J.K. the rock. 25 touches, long of 20 last week. It should be easy to hit that longest rush over 16.5. The Chargers have scored first in every single game they've played this year. J.K. Dobbins, the guy, pounds it in. First touchdown plus 460. Chargers are ground and pound rock. Give it to me. I like the Chargers here.
Ooh, okay. So we like Chargers or do we like Ravens? Here's what we have thus far. Minnesota 1.5, Green Bay 2.5, Washington, Rams, Ravens. is the Chargers one that we could replace something with?
It's a lot of favorites. I don't think Marvin Harrison's playing either, and I know he hasn't been great, but we are getting close to Call of Duty time for Kyler Murray. So
Backs. So who do we take out, Green Bay or Minnesota?
it's the late game on Monday night. I almost would rather be just Marvin Harrison
Thoughts?
Jr. concussion, unspecific. Oh, he played all week. That's weird. He practiced all week. I don't know. Marvin Harrison cleared to play 3 hours ago. So there you go.
There you go.
I don't want to touch it.
All right.
Like the Chargers,
Minnesota.
not quite much.
Minnesota, Green Bay, Washington, Rams, Baltimore.
Cool.
I like it. I love Washington and the Rams. All right.
I
Passing
got a
yard.
week 7 and 7. 7 guys
got a-
scored touchdown. You ready?
Yes, I would love that.
Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors,
Okay.
James Cook,
Mm.
Kenneth Walker. Obviously, we learned some things tonight. David Montgomery. He scores every game this year.
Yes, he does.
Jamar Chase is on the case. He did not score last week, and he's been scoring every game, so he's definitely due. And touchdown machine, Kyron Williams.
He is a touchdown machine. So that's a 7 pack right there.
It's 7 and 7 for week 7.
The Seagrams 7 up, 7 and 7 for 7, 7-11.
Week 7.
Hot dog, rolling rotisserie parlay of the week.
Here's a tease for you. Next week we'll have an Elite 8.
Mm.
These names.
Which we
The
will
marketing
take.
team is off the hook.
We'll take it from the winnings from the 7 for 7, week 7, and roll it right into the week 8 Elite 8. 8 touchdown scores. Okay, the only thing that's left, exact number of passing yards by both teams in the Ravens Buccaneers games. And I feel like this could be over 600.
Well, let's go to a point of logic here and see what the over-unders are for these gentlemen.
I would like to say that it would be 500 and 523 combined. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
The line's at 481.
So should we put 481?
Wait, so what was your guess?
523.
Let's meet in the middle. 502. That's my birthday.
Oh, and that's what's going in the box. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been week 7 Pick'em special extravaganza with special guest JBonez. We are now, hold on, somebody came in like, okay. I think that's it. JBonez, thank you. As always, thank you to the almost 150 people that are watching this right now after the Texas
I said some
game.
pretty mean things about the Eagles or the Steelers. So if this is it for me, it's been fun.
No, we will be back next week after 5-0. And anything else before we go?
Not gambling advice.
No, absolutely not.
We love football.
Back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. No, 9:30.
Yeah, it's
Recap all the action and the Niners
That's why we're
saving the
cashing.
American football world. See you then.
'Cause after all